All right, Hunter, go ahead.
He may not be back yet.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ARIA 500 presented by Millard Racing Graphics. Twitch threw us a curveball tonight and made everybody restart their stream keys, so we're running a little behind. Hey, Ken, how about you give us a little rundown about Daytona?
I can do that for you. So Daytona is 120 laps tonight. It's a 2.5 mile track. It's 300 miles for the race, and pit road speed is going to be 55. Banking at Daytona is 31 degrees in the turns, 18 degrees down the front stretch, and then 2 degrees on the back stretch, so it gets pretty flat back there. And it looks like a great night for a race, and a little cloudy tonight versus what we had on Tuesday night. So let's see if that affects the cars in any way. There's our weather. So Lottie'sTravelWorld.com weather for the ARIA 500 is mostly cloudy. Got air temp of 74 degrees, track temp 78. That's a cool track temp. Relative humidity 60%, and winds from the northeast at 8 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then that's cool temperatures all the way around here in Florida today.
Yeah, now I understand cool temperatures mean faster speed most times, so I don't know if it translates to the same as with the cars.
We will definitely have to check that out, Ken.
Absolutely. Looks like the field is filling up for us. Hunter, have you made it back to us? He has not, so. So we're currently at the end of practice, it looks like, right?
Yeah, we're ending up 40 seconds left in practice.
Excellent. Looking forward to seeing how the practice speeds will translate into the race speeds.
Yeah, I guess when Twitch started their stuff over again, it forced Streamlabs to start their stuff over again. So my Stream Deck's not working quite the way it should be either, but, you know, we will muster through tonight.
Absolutely. And we've got a list in front of us for timing, and I've got a list of drivers, so I think we'll be able to make it through one way or another.
I also have a list of drivers. Welcome, everyone.
There he is. What's
He's
up,
back.
Hunter?
And we had a late entry, Ryan Honeycutt, and I had to enter him into our spreadsheet so that he would show up. So now we got everybody is showing correctly and scoring and timing.
Yep. Ryan Honeycutt, the late addition, which will cap out the field at 23 drivers. And we have a 10-minute qualifying session. It's going to be 2 laps for the cars. So first lap, typically they try to get up to speed, run the top all the way around the track. Then right before they come across the start-finish line, they duck it down to the bottom. Quickest way around the track is on the bottom, and they use that for their second lap.
And we have some people already out on the racetrack. We have 2 drivers tonight that are going to be our in-car drivers. We'll be able to check up on them here.
I still like that South Point design. You see it in the regular races, South Point Casino. I just like the black and the yellow with the red around the lettering.
The roof number covered in what would be the American flag, but in the resemblance of the number 91 there. Just add the name of the driver and lost it. Blair Patterson, number 91, takes the green flag, and you see him running the top. The first and the second lap going into turn 1 right now.
Building a little momentum using that top line, huh? Trying to get to the next lap, build up that speed.
And gotta get there in one way or another.
Absolutely.
He works through turns 3 and 4, and then in between the tri-oval, you'll see him duck down to the bottom here. You'll start to see some lap times go up, and on the top right, you'll see that was the green flag for his lap. No, that wasn't. Oh.
48.326, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 48.326, and like I mentioned earlier, you'll see the fastest lap flickering all over the place as each driver is on their different lap. Not all on the same racetrack at the same time.
You know, Hunter, as I promised the drivers last night and in Discord, we're adding elements pretty much every week, and this week has been a heavy one. And you can see in the bottom left of the scoring tower is our new driver profile. We're showing the number 91 of Blair Patterson in the 3rd position in that Ford. His RPMs and his mile per hour, and he's from North Carolina.
From, I believe that's Waukesha, North Carolina.
What, are you going to try that?
Waukesha, North Carolina. Well, if you say it is, that's what it is, Hunter. I'm not arguing. I wasn't going to try that either, but I like the...
like the enthusiasm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
From the same state that has the Schuylkill River, which a lot of people tend to mispronunciate that, and land
Terribly.
Yeah.
Terribly. That's exactly right.
So right now it's looking like the 42 car of Kyle Knapp's on the pole with a 47.888. 91 of Pearson there falling back to 4th, and right now we're looking at
The number 99.
It's the number 99 car of Dean Prince. Interesting strategy there, going from bottom to top on the backstretch. Cameron Hearn in the number 15 just flew to the top of the charts.
You know, we have a
Like
strategy from yesterday that we seem like the Sampson guys, or I'm probably saying
Sampson.
Sampson
Yeah,
Motorsports guys. They're waiting till the coolest part of the period. They're going to wait till like 2 minutes left or so, as you see the 3 of Weissart and the 52 of Tyler Hallman haven't even got on the track yet.
I like the Christopher Bell there. Christopher Bell design there on the on that Toyota. Good looking design.
Another design here, you'll see the 17 of Daniel Pearson. And another cool, sweet little throwback scheme here. We typically see those at Darlington, but we see it here on the high banks of Daytona. Currently 8th on our chart right now, and he's going to come to his checkered flag lap. This will be lap 2 of 2 for him. And coming down to the stripe, we'll see where he puts himself. Looks like he's going to be 8th on the chart. Move the 17 car up to 8th, and there's the number 77 of Jacob Bell. He's in one of the nights for our other lower leagues in Araya.
So we might know that guy, huh?
And he's from Loxahatchee, Florida. And I only know that because he told me. Or West Palm Beach area.
Got the pronunciation right on Loxahatchee there.
You guys are just on it tonight with the town names. I mean, I'm going to sit here and wait for the easy one, like you know, Bob, Pennsylvania, or something like that.
We got somebody from Indianapolis, Indiana, and
yeah, I can handle that one. Yeah,
we got Albany, Indiana, as well. The drivers.
Right.
So our late edition Ryan Hunnicutt in the 67, he's 2nd on the chart right now. Imagine if he wasn't in the race tonight. That could open up a whole different ball game here in qualifying, and who knows what could happen in the race. Right now, Jacob Bell currently 12th on the chart. Not too quick, but the second lap is always faster than the first lap. He tucks down on the bottom line, that double yellow line, through turns 3 and 4. This will be the end of his qualifying run. Still have well over 10 cars who have yet to put a lap time down. So we're under 4 minutes in the session. Jacob Bell, 3rd.
There you go. Nice.
Just off the front row right now in the 3rd spot.
Nice second lap there for Jacob Bell. That was a good job.
The Loxahatchee native in his home state, essentially.
There you go.
Florida. There's a good view of it from our drone cam, I like to call it. Get a good view of the track out there, and you see the airport there on the back stretch. Believe during the ARCA race we had a plane land.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That always makes for an interesting time. We didn't see much in the truck race. I mean, the nice thing about the truck race was we caught it at sundown, and it was beautiful on the track.
Yep, and there it is, the Aria 500, presented by Miller Racing Graphics, your #1 source of graphics for iRacing, logos, and more. Get 50% off your first paint scheme at facebook.com/MillerSimGraphics. They are paying the winner tonight $30, $15 for second, and $5 for third place. And just like in real life, all the playoffs are you win and you're in. So as we saw earlier in the year in the Cup Series, Michael McDowell won the Daytona 500 and was locked into the playoffs.
That's right.
So, it's early to tell who's going to be a front runner and who won't be, but you win the first race of the year, you don't have to worry about making the playoffs at all.
Well, exactly right, and that's what everybody wants to do, whether you're driving a real car or whether you're driving these guys. Get that thing out of the way so you can sit back, relax, try something new, try a different line, because the rest of the tracks will give you that ability. So
we have less than 2 minutes to go. I don't see anyone on the racetrack right now.
No.
Only got 12 cars up, putting down lap times, and everybody else just sitting still unless we get that logo out of the way. We can identify who that driver is. It looks like that's the number 12 car on our screen right now, Eric Weissart. Might get a few late runners in trying to put down a fast lap.
I was gonna say there's probably a few of them sitting there going, okay, I'll go now.
It looks like he's the only one on track right now. He makes that duck down to the bottom. We'll see where he goes on our leaderboard. Wineland currently 14th quickest. Looks like Brad Slaughter Jr. is on the racetrack as well.
Yeah.
Danny Ware's in the 4th spot in the number 18 car.
I think you'll see a couple more try to get in there. I've got quite a few listed on the timing, but they're running out of time quick. So
Okay, scratch that. Brad Slaughter Jr. just moved up to 3rd.
there you go.
We just lost the 12 car there. There he is, working his way. He's from Altoona, Pennsylvania. I know where that is.
I was gonna say you should know that quite well, just up the road from you. Absolutely.
Yeah, only about a 4 or 5 hour drive to that town.
Yeah.
The Altoona native going to put it in the top 10 for the moment. That's neat. Small world.
See, all I had to do is mention a PA town, even though there is no such thing as Bob, Pennsylvania. But I mean, we'll bring that up. AJR, shout out to you. You're already on there asking for Sasquatch. I just don't know that he's going to come out of the woods tonight, but we'll see what happens. I'm checking I keep an eye over here on the Twitch feed. So if you got something to say, you got your favorite color, favorite paint scheme, let us know. We'll keep an eye out for that as well.
All right,
a couple of these cars look really good.
Yep, qualifying's over. Got a good bit of drivers who chose to not qualify and just ride it out in the back, see how well it goes in the beginning.
That's probably a good strategy, and there's not as many cars, so good chance you'll stay out of that. There you go.
Here's your starting lineup for tonight's Aria 500. Your pole sitter will be the number 15 of Cameron Hearn, and right next to him will be the late entry, the 67 of Ryan Hunnicutt.
You got Brad Slaughter in the 81 in row 2, along with the man Jacob Bell in the 77.
Row number 3 will be the number 18 of Danny Ware on the inside, and to his outside will be the number 42 of Kyle Knapp Sr.
In row 4, you got the 98 of Travis Scramita. He's a familiar name. And then you got Dave Hendricks in the 54.
Row number 5 will have the 91 of Blair Patterson on the inside, and to his outside will be the number 12 of Eric Weissart.
Going to the next row, the number 17 car of Daniel Pearson. Number 99 is going to be Dean Prince.
In row number 7, we'll have the number 7 of Brian Wasserman. And next to him, the number 23 of Garrett Heath.
All right, going down into a row, what are we, row 8 there, I would say. You got Mr. Ryan Hartz in the 03 and Delonta Ballard in the 21.
In row number 9, we'll have the number 3 of David Weissart, and alongside him, the number 2 of Shaquille O'Ray.
And going down to row number 10, you got Mr. Garrett Grant in the 5 car, and then you have Ed Robertson in the 64 car.
Starting in row 11 will be Scott McClendon in the 29, starting 21st, and starting 22nd, the 52 of Tyler Hallman, and last but not least, the 56 car of Christian DeBoer.
And then they are rolling off.
I believe that's 12. So 23 cars for tonight's Araya 500, the first race of the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series. It's going to be 120 laps. 300 miles around this racetrack, and pit road speed is going to be about 55 miles an hour. You see there they go, taking the pace laps along the 31 degrees of banking. Well, right now we're on the 2 degrees of banking on the straightaway here, and then they'll slowly climb up to about 18 and then up to 31. And here's one of our in-car cams tonight. One of the Samson guys. It's the 3 of David Weishart. There you see his setup, and there's another man in the room.
That's beautiful. Yeah, giving the piece signal. There you go. He knows he's there. Like it. This is a great view. This gives us a real good idea of how this works for these guys, what they're going through, how focused they really are when they're driving these cars. So I love it.
And another one that has the in-car cam or in-studio cam is his teammate, the number 52 of Tyler Hallman. He also has the in-car camera, so we can see his setup here, and it's easy to identify him as the 52 car because he has the 52 door on his back wall there.
That's exactly right. Won't be hard to figure out. Is that Tyler? Yes, it is Tyler. So good to see him there too, and letting us get an inside view into what he does. So that's beautiful.
As they make their way off turn 4, the pace car is going to make a hard left turn onto pit road. It's time to get this show on the road. The Araya 500 is underway at Daytona.
There we go. Flagman waving it like he doesn't care, throwing it hard, and everybody going down into turn 1. Should be a good time tonight.
Very early on, we see the majority of cars ducking down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's a 4-car breakaway right now with Cameron Hearn as your leader.
We did kind of pose that question while we were talking and we were watching them in practice. What line would they run? Would they run the top or would they run the bottom? Clearly, everybody wants to line up and be on that freight train down on the bottom side.
They're all talking about Cameron Hearn's paint scheme. As we're looking here.
That's beautiful.
Not Cameron Hearn. So if it's not Cameron, who is it?
Well, it's the 15 of not Cameron Hearn going around. It's an excellent paint scheme, by the way. I really like the number on the top too. Lots of timing done there.
Well, whoever's in that car has just led the first lap of the race here, as we are single file so far on the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, I have the paint designer on Twitch, AJR Racing, is saying, I made that paint and it's beautiful. And you know what? It is beautiful. We wouldn't have brought it up if it wasn't. So shout out to that. I really like the 15 number on the side, AJR. Yep, beautiful.
What it reminds me of, this scheme, it reminds me of the memes on Twitter of Ryan Truex when he used to run the 16 truck with Ryan, and it would be sketch similar like this one.
Exactly. The
lone soldier on the outside, it's none other than our own colleague, Jacob Bell. He's currently falling to the back, and it seems like that's where he wants to be right now.
No, ducks in real quick. Slides in behind the 17. He was just testing the air out there. That's all he was doing, just making sure he was okay when he was out there.
Jake falls to 11. And you see the Loxahatchee native, and he is in his home state of Florida. So this is essentially a home race for him. But so far, it's just single file down on the bottom.
And there's no reason to try anything else at this point. I mean, you're lap 3 of 120. Where are you going to go at this point?
We've had our first casualty. The number 2 of Shaquille O'Ray has manually disconnected, so maybe having some computer issue problems, and he had 3 laps and out he went.
Could have been a Denny Hamlin situation where his daughter turned it off too. You never know.
Always have passwords to those remotes or settings.
That's right.
Other than that, so far it's still single file there, leading on the bottom, and you know you don't want to risk getting your car damaged too early or trying to do any risky maneuvers because we're on lap 4 of 120. There's still over 100 laps of racing left. Still don't know how your car is going to handle. You see Jake fall into the back, so trying to get a little more diagnosis there for his 77 Lodge Box machine.
I just saw that, like someone said they were showing too, Hallman showing it out as well.
Car out of race.
Yeah.
52 of Tyler Hallman. Not really sure what happened there. Not sure if it was another issue like Shaquille Ray had with the manual disconnect or something happened. There he is on the
That
pit.
looks like a manual disconnect of his front bumper and splitter is what looks like happened.
Not good.
Well, let's just say the engine's going to stay cool with that opening.
If I could find that for us. There, this is before that. That is our replay of. You see him coming in here with no front clips, so I'm not sure what happened with Hallman.
Got no real idea of where he was running at the time.
Could have just been a single car issue where it just, you know how it is here. Lose the air and spin away. So.
But what we've seen before in some of these races, we'll see drivers glitch in and out where they become invisible, then they appear back in, and they're in the middle of a wreck. So that could be an issue that happened to the 52 of Tyler Hallman. But 5 laps into the Uriah 500 and already 2 drivers out of the race.
Great camera view here of the ground. What do they call it? The gopher cam, right? Gopher cam there. That was a good looking shot there. Just love watching these guys just do this. I know it's, it doesn't matter whether it's on Fox or it's us doing it or something else, man. I just love watching the cars bullet by in a row. It's fantastic. That's a nice pink car. What do we got there?
It's the number 54 car right there of Baby Hendricks.
All right.
Currently running in the 8th spot right now, and it is October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so pink number 54.
And I appreciate that. My wife battling that now, so glad anytime somebody can do something like that.
And it looks like we got a change for lead up there.
Yep.
The 15 of Cameron Hearn's going to pull up to the top, and he said he's had enough, so he's going to drop in line. And smart on his part, he gets to know how his car handles in the traffic, dirty air.
We saw this yesterday with
one car.
We saw this last night with drivers and teammates shuffling because you're up front, you're burning fuel at a much higher rate than everybody else, and you can actually lose an entire lap during a stint by being the guy pulling the train. So he has to bail out, or he's going to have to pit by himself a lap early.
Well, and of course, if you look at the list, we have the list here. He's just dropped right in front of his teammate, so they're all VRA drivers. So that's why I would assume he went back there. You've got them running the 1, 2, 3 there in a group. So a little strategy there, like you said. Easier to go in and out of the pits and not have to worry about whether you got help or not.
But he didn't get points for leading a lap. You get 1 point for bonus point for laps led. Plus, he got the pole, if I remember right. Correct? Cameron was our top guy. So
Cameron Hearn was indeed the pole sitter for the race. He led the first about 6 or 7 laps, and just now faded to what is now the 7th spot. Gave the lead over to the number 81 of Brad Slaughter Jr. He's got the late entry, Ryan Hunnicutt, 67, right behind him.
Yeah, Honeycutt shoots in there really quick, and don't know much about him, but he's clearly up there to run, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks like he might get a lap here as he's being pushed by, it looks like the 18 right behind him as the 81 slides to the top to let people go by. He was
81.
Yesterday's winner, Brad Slaughter, in the Xfinity car.
81 car, Brad Slaughter Jr. now moving up to the top, and we have a few drivers in the back that are also moving up to the top.
Yeah, just saw that just saw that. So now it's time to test the water. You're still early in the race. Why not see if you can run two by two for a while?
So move the 67 of Ryan Hunnicutt to the lead as we have about 3 cars on the outside lane trying to get something. And right in front of the 15, it's Brad Slaughter, 81, moving up.
Yeah, I think he was testing from where he was before. He's just trying to see where it works. I'd like to see that outside lane come forward, but you only got 2 guys out there. It's hard to pull it. I got a couple more jumping out of line.
You got 2 cars that are coming up, Ed Robertson and Scott McClendon, that are in danger of being lapped. Looks like the 29 is the next car up, about 5 seconds in front of the leaders.
Pretty early to be getting caught like that, but they're going to blow right past them once they get there.
Don't believe we had any pit stops yet, so might be, you know what, they might be off pace from one of the earlier incidents in the race. Could be from the 52 of Tyler Hallman or the 2 of Shaquille O'Reilly. We don't know, but be this far off the pace this early in the race, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Seems like Brad's just trying to go out, come back, see what it's doing, but interesting that he'd go out behind the 29.
The damage in that 29 car.
Yeah.
As he's getting lapped by the leaders right now.
Yeah, everybody.
Now you got a couple guys.
The lap traffic early.
Yep.
Start to see a second line forming there. That's along the 4th position. The racetrack, you got 3 cars on the outside lane, and it looks like it's being led by the 81 there, Brad Slaughter, along with Cameron Hearn. There's another lap car in the way, and that is the number 64 of Ed Robertson. So we're going to be 3 wide for a brief moment here down the backstretch, as there's now what I would say is even between the outside and the inside.
Yep, definitely looks like they've split it up to see how they can do on that high side. Then you start to wonder when you're going to protect the bottom and protect the top.
We saw in practice these guys were slicing and dicing, going 2 and 3 wide. We're just now starting to see them go side by side more, although the inside line still prevailing by about 4 cars. That outside lane still being led by the 81 of Brad Slaughter.
I'm kind of amazed at the distance between the cars. There's not a whole lot of like close nose to tail. There's probably a little more down this flat back stretch, but when they get stretched out, I mean, they just really pull apart.
Yes, the package they're running is the newer package that the Cup Series just ran at the previous Daytona and Talladega race. So it's not the one that they ran earlier in the year where you can get runs like crazy and push on the bumper through the corners. And our colleague Jacob Bell said earlier on that it was going to be like this. It was going to be single file. You just really like a bubble, you'd say, of air in between the car in front of you and the car behind you, and it takes longer for runs to be built. There you see the outside lane fading fastly. So there's now only 1 car, and that is the 77 of Jacob Bell. Trying to settle in line here. There's a 81 car, Brad Slaughter, still fighting tough on the outside. He ducked to the bottom, then he just moved back up.
He pops in and out of that bottom line every once in a while just to see what's going on. I think if I'm watching him and as he goes by, you'll see him come down, try to do a little side draft, see if that helps out. He seems to be just testing the water from everything I can tell.
So far, it's an easy night for our 2 admins here tonight for the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Dawson Miller and Ryan Swan are both adminning tonight. And there's a look at our in-car cam there, the number 3, David Weissart.
This is a good idea of RPMs.
It's like a second group that's back here.
Yeah, he's kind of, he's well off from the main pack there. He's in a group with Garrett Heath and Garrett Grant. Christian DeBoer also a little bit behind those guys, but these guys are well away from the big pack here. Just in case anything happens, then they're in the clear, along with DeBoer, as you saw him in the background there. So far, 16 laps complete of our scheduled 120 here at Daytona for the Aria 500. The first race of the new Aria SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Kicks off at none other than Daytona International Speedway.
Brian Honeycutt's been our leader for quite a few laps now since taking over after Brad Slaughter dropped out and went back to test the waters on the dropping in and out of the line. He's still running out there and holding his own. If you watch him, he can come in and out in fairly good timing. So
yeah, the 15 of Cameron Hearns letting him back in, so that's allowing the 81 of Slaughter to go up, test the water, see if he can side draft a little bit, pass him in the middle of the corner, and clear him off the exit of turn.
Yeah, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do that now. It's the best time to do it. Test everything you can and just kind of get a feel for what your car is going to do when it comes down to 10 laps to go and everybody will be punching one another in the head. So now's the time.
See the 81 there on the outside of the number 3. That's Ryan Hartz. The 03, he was a late entry. Well, he was a late addition. He was already scheduled to run the Cup Series, but did not see him early on in practice and saw him at the very end, so he made qualifying. Currently running in the 7th spot right now. Oh, now 8th as the Slaughter machine still trying to slaughter the outside lane and getting something going.
He sure is. He needs those other 2 cars to get up there and give him a little push. Get around that outside. That's Jacob Bell being pushed in the backside there by Brian Wasserman. So
and the 7 working together.
Yeah. Yep.
Right here.
Looks like another one joined him too.
Riding on board the number 12 here of Eric Wineland, the Altoona native from Pennsylvania. That's all the way up north, far away from Florida, as we got some motions going on here. The outside lane's starting to get a bit of a run here. And there he is, it's the Slaughter machine, the number 81 car.
Yeah. This is interesting. This actually tells you a lot at this point. Those guys came from way back. Now you see the number 3 car diving down. Ryan Hartz, he wants to go ahead and get out there in front.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz is actually being scored as the 03. The number 3 is David Weissart. He's in 17th. But looking at fuels yesterday, 35 laps seemed to be the most the Xfinity cars could get with the 75% fuel load. And just kind of curious in what the Cup cars might be able to do in the same 3/4 of the tank.
3 had the lead for a moment, but Brad Slaughter Jr. brought everybody up to the top, and this is what Jacob Bell mentioned earlier just in the practice session. He'd say that we would see some single file racing, although we did see it at the bottom. You saw the run that the top got, and everybody's now tucking up to the top. What a difference a lap makes.
Doesn't it? I mean, you go from basically 1 car been in and out with Slaughter the whole time. Suddenly he gets 2 or 3 with him, and now look at the way they're running. And again, as you said, going to the top, they seem to like it up there.
Yeah, he won their leader, Slaughter. He was flirting with the top. He would come back in and then go back down to the bottom, come back in, and then all of a sudden the 77 and the 7, Jacob Bell and Ryan Wasserman, they worked their way all the way up from outside the top 10, all the way up to inside the top 5 now.
Tyler Hallman has re-entered the racetrack, 10 laps down, 7.5 minutes in his pit stall.
Well, again,
damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, and again, he probably doesn't have an overheating problem since, he didn't have anything on the front. Looks like they did put a new front on him, so that's good. Interesting sky tonight, too. What a beautiful shot that is.
Looks a little partly cloudy, overcast conditions, but it will transition into a finish under the lights. There, everyone running single file still. Here's our weather presented by LaIceTravelWorld.com. It's right now mostly cloudy, although the sun is setting. Air temp 73, track temp 76. Your humidity's at 62%, which according to Jacob Bell is 620%. And your winds are switching from currently the northeast at 10 miles an hour.
Notice a little bit difference on when they're running up top. You see them kind of wiggle a little more back and forth, back and forth. Looks like they're carrying a different load of momentum when they're all running up top versus when they're down low.
And we just saw a driver go from the bottom to the top on the backstretch. That was the 42 of Kyle Knapp. Slid in front of the 12th there, so that's going to put him into the top 10. Right now, clear view for our Columbus, Georgia native, Brad Slaughter. He's currently our leader. Now looks like we got a taker here, the number 99 car, Dean Price. Nope, he's going to keep it up top.
Yeah, again, I think they're just. This is a good time to do whatever you need to do. There was a comment there. I never thought I'd see this in iRacing. The drunken caterpillar is what it looks like coming down that backstretch there.
Well, Ken, you and I we were doing a race with another league that was using the new cars that start next season, and the cars were not dancing. And I was telling you in that broadcast that the Cup cars in the current condition, which is what we're seeing out here right now, they do move around a whole lot. And even though the 77 Jake Bell was telling us that they'll be going to the high side, right now you see you going back working that bottom line, and it's not that hard to get the pusher happens here, like where that 03 is, and he knocks the guy directly behind the 77 into the 77, and we have Calamity Corner happening.
Yep, and they're catching a slower car in front of them. It looks like that's the 56 of Christian DeBoer. So that's going to put him a lap down. But yeah, move the 77 of Jacob Bell up. Loxahatchee native. Hometown kid, hometown track. Jacob Bell, there he is.
Well, that's going to make people a whole upset that guy's sitting down. Usually the race controllers tell the lap cars to go high and get out of the way. And DeBoer is just sitting right there along the yellow line, and that's not going to make people happy.
Well, there's the old shoehorn that you could always come up and give him a little how you doing and send him on. But the problem with that is you take a chance of a shoehorn and you're going to get the whole shoe in your face. So that'll cause a problem too. But yeah, I wouldn't, I don't know that I'd be very happy with him being there either.
There's a little bit of mutual respect between the two. DeBoer racing in the number 56 car that's typically driven by Dawson Miller, owner, CEO, president, vice president, everything of Miller Racing Graphics.
There you go. Well, then so he can drive wherever he wants. That's cool. Yeah.
Now so you got, it looked like that maybe he got back there for being off cycle in pits or something, because he has only one incident point, so that's not any damage on that car. But yeah, the run that Jake had, I expected Jake to go around him, but
it's kind of bottled up this pack here. We're starting to see some of the guys spread out a little more. We see from about top 5 back, everybody's got like a car length of space in between each other. Everybody's still
and again,
running
much
top.
like the last time, Hunter, they went from the top, they went from the bottom, everybody snaked up to the top. Now they're all back down on the bottom. And you would think 27 laps, they're probably thinking pit stop soon, wouldn't they?
Yeah, we're assuming around lap 40 to 45 we'll be seeing our first set of green flag pit stops. If we don't get a yellow. In the ARCA series, we had, I believe, the longest green flag run. I could be wrong. The Xfinity series might have been longer. But we went over halfway in the ARCA race. Let's say lap 50 was our first yellow. So we had a 49 to 50 lap run under green flag.
You're talking
conditions.
about pits are happening. Heath, Weissart, Grant, and Robertson with Scott McClendon all on pit, come down the pit lane, and they're coming back out.
Some of those guys 2 laps down after that, 1 lap down. So those are the guys that were running in the back, but interesting to see if they cycle back around and be back on the lead lap.
Here comes the leaders.
Here they come the leaders,
we got pit stops coming in. Gotta be careful, watch out. We have some hot brakes coming into pit road. They're looking 2 wide, 3 wide. There's half the field, I'd say, that are coming in pit road. There's the 77, Jacob Bell. 7 of Brian Wasserman. The 03 of Ryan Hartz. They're all into pit road. Madness over here. Will be interesting to see if we see any tire takers or just a splash and go.
There's tires going on the 67.
Like tires going on the 67, the Honeycutt there. You taking both sides or just one? Oh.
Here we have some takers coming out of pit road. We will see some 4 tire, 2 tire, or no tire, and just fuel only.
These front
Right now, the
4
12
guys,
car.
front
Yep,
4,
Eric
29
Weiland,
laps.
leader.
So they need to be coming soon. 2 more come down, so the top 2 have not pitted yet.
Those
Yep,
2 are
2.
teammates. I'm surprised the 12 didn't go with him and didn't lead the way since he's the 3rd member of the team there. So the 2 other VRA drivers, Cameron Hearn or not Cameron Hearn, depending on who you want, and Davey Hendrick, they both drop off. Meanwhile, you still got the 12 out there running around, Eric Wineland. So.
Yeah, but it could be because the 21 isn't not teammates with VRA, and you didn't want to slow down in front of them and maybe cause an accident. So we'll
There's
get
a
our
comment
score.
on there said Jacob Bell isn't using as much gas with the lap car in front of him, and that is true. Handy Dirt, shout out, or Hendry Dirt, shout out to you on that one, Hendry Dirt. But you were probably right. These
Yeah,
2
they come
coming
down
in now.
Yep.
The last 2 are coming in, and this would be the battle for the lead, and the 77 of Jacob Bell just flies right on by 2 VRA teammates, the 15 and the 54. They're going to cycle back in with this little pack up here, being led by Jacob Bell, Ryan Hartz, and the 7 car of Ryan Wasserman. It'll be interesting to see where the 12 and the 21 come out if they elect to try and get back on the racetrack as soon as they can, although the leaders are flying by right now. They're still on pit road, and they're just now coming out of pit road, so they're going to cycle back well outside the top 5, maybe top 10 here.
Yeah, once those guys get around that turn, they're going to catch them pretty fast. And you got a breakaway of 6 cars up here at the front, and that all product of just different timing, different pits. But
and there you saw the 2 that were just on the pit road. They're still on the apron. They're now merging back onto the racetrack. Can't merge before you get to turn 1 because, you know, the Kevin LePage incident happened and led everyone to rethinking, hey, how do we avoid from this happening? So they all got to go around the apron on turn 1 and 2. And then as soon as they get off the exit of turn 2, they can merge onto the backstretch. Safe.
Actually, in iRacing, there's a blue cone. If you cut the cone, you get a black flag. There's a green cone. That's for the end of pit lane, so pit speed goes away at the green cone. And then you'll see the guys, you'll see the blue cone as they come out of turn 2, and that'll allow you to get back up onto the racetrack.
And Kevin LePage would find a way to hit that blue cone.
I was going to
There's
say
blue
he'd probably
cone,
send
bye.
that. Yeah, he'd probably send that into the stands or something, I would imagine.
Yeah, so far, still single file here with your leader, Jacob Bell, leading the way. Had an interesting green flag pit stops just happened a few laps ago. Different
Sun's
strategies, people pinning on different laps. Yeah, the sun's out momentarily as the sun sets in Daytona Beach, Florida.
I want to see if these 6 cars here can continue to keep that gap between the cars in the back. You know, the next pack is quite a distance back. Let's see if they can gain anything by doing the same thing, lining up. And there you see them. They're lined up ready to go, but can they catch that group in the front?
The second pack being led by the number 91 car of Blair Patterson in the South Point Casino Ford. The Waukesha, North Carolina native leading that second pack.
Look at
With
you guys.
right behind him, Christian DeBoer in the 56, who's still scored a lap down. Car behind him, though, the 99 of Dean Prince, scored 8.
Well, he's in a perfect spot with that 1 lap down to be where he needs to be. That's two cars. He and Ed Robertson, Ed, in the 64. They're both a lap down, and then Scott McClendon showing us 2 laps down in the 29 car.
In case you were wondering where the 12 and the 21 car came out, they're in the back part of that second pack. Eric Weiland, Delonte Ballard, they were the last 2 to pit amongst the leaders, and they're in the back part of that second pack.
Just I mentioned there's Ed Robertson going another lap down, so he's now 2 laps down, leaving Christian DeBoer as the only one lap down. So if anything does happen, he will get that lucky dog.
The golden hour is this called as we see
Yeah.
the sun setting and providing that nice color, but you know, it's getting into their face in turns 3 and 4. Coming out of 4, actually, you'll see.
Yeah, there's a good shot of it. Let's ride around here with the hometown boy and see how it looks when he comes around that corner. The clouds have caught back up, Harold. Not so bad now. It was pretty bright there for a moment, but it looks like the clouds have swallowed the sun back up, so Jacob Bell doesn't have any vision issues coming off of 4 there.
Jake now allowing somebody else to take the lead as he goes up.
Yep, move and Hart's into the lead in the 0-3 car. Jacob Bell going to the back of this pack. He's going to fall in behind the late entry, number 67, Ryan Honeycutt. Currently running in the top 5 after just barely making it in.
Hunter, that second pack looks like it's gaining too. From everything I see here, it looks like they're getting some speed together as well.
Garrett Grant making that smoke that we saw going on the pit lane in the number 5.
Garrett Grant on pit road now. We'll try and catch up with that and what the issue is. There he is right now. Looks like he's just making a pit stop. There might be a little bit of damage on the front. I don't think there's damage anywhere else. I could be mistaken. But it looks like his crew guys are just having a conversation instead of working on the car.
Yep, they're just chilling. You know,
they're chilling. It wasn't me that was supposed to carry the tires, you. But yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, you know, they're pointing fingers at each other. Not good. Need some unity down there in the pits, on it. See that? As you can see, that second group, more cars together. They've been running really well together in the line also. So won't be long before I think you see them come up. Now the question will be, do they take the high line when they catch them, or do they just stay in line and run?
It'll be interesting to see, but looking at the lap times, the leader of the pack, Ryan Hartz, just ran a lap time of above 46 seconds. The leader of the second pack, Blair Patterson,
45.
almost half a second quicker.
Yep.
So that is true. More cars, the faster you go. Absolutely. And they are slowly but surely catching the leaders.
4/10 faster, and when they get within 0.8 seconds, you will see them suck up pretty heavily to the guys in front of them. That's about the distance to catch the draft.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because, as we just said, the difference in between Blair Patterson at the 45, 623. Now Ryan just pulled a 4.5, 920, so they're a little quicker than the last lap. But man, they're coming in a hurry.
And they're catching them. As you see the times going down, that 7 car, 1.5 seconds now behind, which is about 1 second behind Bell. Now he's within the draft now as you start seeing him suck up on the Bell. See what he does as he gets to the back bumper, if he goes high or stays where he's at.
Oh, that line it started to, they were tight for a while, but there we go. Now they're getting back onto, there's a big gap between the 2 cars there. The 15, was that the 15 and
almost like the 15 doesn't want to be in this lead pack, so he's holding that brake a little bit to keep himself some distance.
There you see Patterson's now got the backside of Jacob Bell, so he's definitely there.
Second pack has just now caught the first pack. We'll slowly see these guys forming the one big snake as they go through turns 3 and 4.
17 cars still on the lead lap. The number 3 of David Weissart is in the back of this group. Sure if he got any damage because him and Garrett Heath are together, and they don't look like they got any help back there.
And they're definitely running. They're running 47 back there as well. Interesting, Christian DeBoer ran a 45.552 running with the pack. So at 1 lap down, he's still got a stout car that can handle what's going on. That's for sure.
I said he might have somehow been involved and had to go down pit by himself or something, because he doesn't look like he's got much damage on the car at all, and he's able to keep the speed. about a third way done. This has got the laps keep ticking away. We're on completed lap number 41 that last time by.
Been so far an easy night for our admins, Ryan Swan and Dawson Miller, both adminning for the Nice Araya 500, the first race in the SimSpeedShop Cup Series there for Araya.
It'd be good to see their perspective or point of view. But yep, the Drunken Caterpillar is back. Going in and out, in and out, in and out. I think right now it's just a matter of the air blowing over the cars and moving them around, but nobody seems to want to jump out and try anything special here. And as I say that, the 3-car drops back and the 7-car takes the lead. Brian Wasserman moving up there to the point. Bell goes up, grabs him, brings him back down. You see Wasserman ducking out. And Travis Termita taking the lead there in the 98 car.
Travis like runs, musical chairs with the lead.
Yeah. Travis runs quite a few different races, so good to see him out there.
Travis Termita, not from the United States. We have an entry from Canada, from our neighbors up north in St. Catharines, Ontario.
All right,
first lap lead of the night.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Canada, I'm out in front of the cars. There you go. Just shout out a little, I probably just butchered, their national anthem, but there you have it. That making you hungry again, Harold? You mentioned that earlier.
What was that? Oh, yeah.
The McDonald's car out front.
Yeah.
McDonald's was pretty good, by the way. It's hard to pass up on their breakfast.
Yeah, I'm upset they lost. They don't have all-day breakfast anymore. That's upsetting.
Some of them do. Not all of them, though.
Say, speaking of upsetting, it might be a little upsetting to our admin of the night here, Ryan Swan. Hasn't had a whole lot of action to do. Just been watching cars go from the bottom to the top. Ryan, how's it going?
The most action I've had is beating this computer for shutting down on me before qualifying, but...
Yeah, I'm going to blame it on Ryan. All the problems we had getting the broadcast going tonight he must have sent that juju my way. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I went to tell them they had 10 minutes to qualify, and it went all haywire on me. So I'm glad it's back working now.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I was saying Ryan was one of the drivers who got a top 5 finish in the inaugural ARCA series, the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series.
Yeah,
how about that?
That was a good night. I wish it would have went into the white flag lap. I think I had something for him, but sometimes it don't always work out like it did in the truck series with that big wreck on the last lap. So this week's been awesome. I've been here all 4 nights. It's really cool to see this thing jump up and take off like it has. It's been 3 great races and a whole lot of good drivers in here. So.
We had plenty of activity. We had plenty of activity, Ryan, on that Tuesday night truck race. All those trucks out there, the full field. Man, you had to be on your toes.
Oh yeah, that's a very stout field, just like tonight. Obviously we see up front we got a couple guys who ran. I believe Tuesday night as well.
Yep.
Harts for sure, and Jacob Bell, and I think Screw. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Yeah, he ran.
Yeah, he ran last night as well. So
he's been a busy guy this week. He's run a lot of races.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
We got both of these.
I was gonna say one thing real quick as you're talking about the racing. I've covered quite a few from Wendigo Studios with different leagues and all, and this series from ARIA from Monday through Thursday has had green flag pit stops in every single series at Daytona.
Yeah, and that's really a big surprise, especially for for Monday night with the, I guess we would call it the beginner series, but really the way it was run, I mean, it really didn't feel like it was at 50 straight laps green. So, you know, I'm very glad that it's kicked off the way it has.
The acronym for nothing, the All-Star Racing Esports Association, they are racing like all-stars. If we've had every night go long enough with their opening run to where we have green flag pit stops, just shows how clean the drivers are, how patient they are, and their self-awareness on the track.
Yeah, and I can speak for Jake. I mean, I'm sure he is 100% grateful for all of the parties that have came along to help us out, you know, like Samson and BRA and some of these other guys who we've been racing with for the past probably 5 seasons in other leagues. Just kind of came together, wanted something new, you know. So we are, for sure, he is very grateful, and all them coming together.
AJR saying that he likes the broadcast as well. He says he's entertained compared to the other broadcasts. So thank you for that. And no, it's not time for Sasquatch yet. I saw your little comment.
He said it's coming up to halfway. He's a little short though. We got 10 more laps.
Yeah. Well, he's looking for another one of them corn pone things. I'm gonna say probably midway through when it gets hairy, but.
So, I mean, we haven't even asked the people about the paint schemes yet.
Nah, nobody's really chiming in tonight on that. I mean, we got people on there, but...
We got the 15 as one vote.
Yeah.
And 15's got a pretty stout paint scheme compared to the rest.
Yeah, it's hard to fight against that. I mean, once they said the 15 car, I mean, who else are you going to vote for, really? The scribbling on the side, who else scribbles better than that? It's just perfect.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just off
that
of
67 pushing the 98 and getting squirrely.
Just off of the chats in the Discord, man, you see some of the pictures that Alan Elwood posts, and it's just amazing. You know, you got him, you got a couple painters in here. You got Alan himself and Elwood Designs. You got Dawson Miller, who is adminning with me tonight. Miller Racing Graphics. I mean, go check those guys out because they make incredible work.
Yeah, it's amazing what, you know, the effort that goes into this. You know, I was getting my food tonight, and the guy was listening to me talk to my daughter. He said, what race are you calling? And I said, well, I happily jumped up and showed him what we're doing. And he goes, man, it looks like they're real. Yeah, it really does. They do a great job on the paint schemes, and then the rendering as well is just phenomenal.
A lot of bump in there from the 67 of Ryan Hunnicutt. There's a good look at the front bumper.
He's
to
got
the rear bumper.
Yep.
Travis Fermino, our leader.
I believe old Honeycutt was actually our last minute entry, right? He gave us a call about 5 minutes before grid. So.
Yeah.
Indeed,
and he's
was.
driving well.
He qualified in row number 2, and he's led some laps here tonight. He's led 9 of the 52 laps that we've had under green so far. He's keeps poking his nose to the outside and keeps shoving the 98 Fermino out in front. But we're approaching the halfway point here. Tonight's Araya 500, the first race, the inaugural Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series, kicking off in no other place than Daytona International Speedway.
The Super Bowl of racing.
In this case, the Super Bowl of Araya.
You know, Garrett Grant, it being on pit lane, kind of reminds me of what happened last night. We had 2 Xfinity cars lose an engine, which is very unusual during for fixed setups.
Yeah, Garrett Grant and Tyler Hallman are still on pit road, but we had an early exit from the 2 of Shaquille O'Reilly. Not sure what happened there. It was a manual disconnect. And then we saw damage on the 52 of Tyler Hallman. Still not sure as to what happened with him. But he came back out 10 laps down, and he's brought the car back into pit road. And just now, Harold, you mentioned the 5 car of Garrett Grant. Seemed to have lost an engine of some sort.
He lost an engine last night in the Xfinity Series. And like I said, Ryan, I mean, you were out there racing with the trucks. You know, it's unusual for iRacing's fixed setups to overheat and cause engine problems.
For sure. I guess the incident last night was with Grant. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. He said it was a freak accident. It just blew up on him. I think he said all of his gauges were good too, and it's just a really weird accident to happen. You know, and it feels like all the luck that Sampson had last night's kind of ran out. They've not had a very good night tonight.
How about that?
Well, last night it was Cameron Hearn. I can't remember who it was. Trying to remember. One of the other drivers, Elwood was. Was it Elwood? I think it was Elwood that had an engine let loose early in the race yesterday. Is that correct? Am I getting the right person?
Yep.
And Cameron Hearn ran him over because he lost his engine, and that actually brought out, or I don't think it got a caution, but it did cause a heck of a pileup.
I believe that was our only caution of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, and I knew we had a caution. That's right, you were admin in that race, so I guess you would know. There was one caution, so that's pretty amazing last night too. That's right, lap 56 here.
It looks like these guys are trying to one-up it with no cautions here. It's going to be pretty impressive if we get all these green flag stops in and nobody runs each other over.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the practice, they ran each other over getting off the pit lane. So, I mean, they've learned something apparently from practice now.
So, Ryan, do you think, I mean, I don't know if you did any NASCAR Racing 2003, but we used to destroy the cars after qualifying to prevent the engines from doing that. There you go.
Here. It looks like the top two come down pit road. Travis Gramina and Ryan Honeycutt. And also looks like the 99 of Dean Prince also come on the pit road. So our second batch of green flag pit stops are coming in. Admin Tower might get a little busy. We're nearing the halfway point. Ryan Swan, everyone, thank you for joining us in the broadcast booth. We still have well over halfway of the race to go.
Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, see you, Ryan.
You can catch Ryan in Monday night's Araya Swift Lifestyle Pro Series. That's the ARCA Series. He had a third place finish at Daytona on Monday night. Quite a bit of controversy there as to his finish. We see the onboard of Jacob Bell coming on the pit road. See some of the leaders fly by. You see some of the drivers, including Jacob Bell, come on the pit road. Like the car in front of him, that's the 7 of Brian Wasserman, locking up the brake skin on the pit road. Yeah, Ryan Swan was the only one to get a black flag in the finish for the ARCA race, the Araya Swift Lifestyle Pro Series, because he went below the yellow to avoid a wreck, and it gave him the black flag and it messed up the running order. Dropped him to outside the top 10, and after some corrections, he was awarded with third place.
Oh, wow. That's going from anger to jubilant in no time at all, huh?
Yeah, one of the rare instances here in iRacing, and we see the last bit of drivers come down pit road, except for it looks like the 12 and the 21 again.
Again, yeah, staying out, and that worked well for them. I mean, they got pulled back around their last time, so they're just running off a different cycle. That's all that is. There was a question there, AJR Racing, did league signups end with the season opener, he asked. Do we know?
Nope, there's 3 of the 4 divisions or series are still accepting entries. The only one that is closed currently is the truck series, since they have 43 entries already. So they're going to hold off taking anybody. I'm sure you can still sign up, but you won't be able to run until some space opens up. But if you want to race on Monday night, Wednesday night, or Thursday night, you head over to ariairacing.com and sign up today.
Yeah, I didn't think there'd be space in the trucks. Not after the number of trucks we were calling Tuesday night. So,
and we're going back to Homestead, so we're not going to anything small next week either.
No. I like the whole Blaney look there with even the tires or even the wheels are colored white. That's a good looking scheme there too on that Mustang.
That's the number 12 car, currently running second. Delonte Ballard is our leader right now from Newport News, Virginia.
We'll be driving through there tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes. Heading on the way to the Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens, that's right. So Delonte will be coming by you. Delonte will be coming by you tomorrow. Very early, and they're coming on the pit lane now.
Wait.
My guess is, Harold, he'll still be sleeping by the time we drive by him tomorrow. That's my guess.
You know, smart people would be.
Yeah, wouldn't they now?
There you see, this would be the new leader on how pit cycles thin out. The 98 Travis Skrmita and the 67 of Ryan Hunnicutt, like they never left anywhere. There you see the 12 and the 21 just now exiting pit road, but in a moment you'll see the 98 and the 67 go back up to the top 2 spots. Got a little breakaway between the pack behind them that's being led by the 15 car, Cameron Hearn.
Yep, which was what we had before.
Which it's much smaller than it was last time, though. They're right there.
Yeah, see, they're nose to tail.
I'll say this is the case. There's 3 lap cars in front of him. Cameron Hearn, between him and Ryan Honeycutt, all 3 of those cars in front of him are lappers. So that's quite a way to navigate yourself through. They're going to the outside. Yep. The one
They're on now. As we see the grandstands, the lights are all up.
say one of the cars on the outside that was in front of the 15 car, the 17 of Daniel Pearson, he moved up to the top, got out of the way of the leader or the third place car.
And the way they're set up right now, he would then be the lucky dog. Christian DeBoer's in that back group again. So, interesting.
While everyone's all settled down for now, let's go ahead and take a look at our halfway rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. Fans, be sure to visit Swift Lifestyles for clean supplements that help you improve your focus and gaming. Use discount code AREA iRacing, AREA iRacing, for 15% off your entire order. Big shout out to Swift Lifestyles for sponsoring Swift Lifestyle Pro Series here on AREA. Right now, your leader is the 98 car Travis Skrmita, the Ontario native, leading. Currently led 15 laps so far. He's had the 67 of Ryan Honeycutt push him for the majority of the way, I'd say, after lap 30. And there is a 67 of Ryan Honeycutt.
So Ryan Honeycutt is being in our second position. So it's AREA 52 designs, right? On this car?
Yeah, I can't really get a good
It's
glimpse.
Area 52, but we've been saying AREA, so, I'm just trying to help out with that. Cameron Hearn is in the third spot, or actually not Cameron Hearn.
Not Cameron Hearn. Yeah, not Cameron Hearn is driving in this spot. Doing a fine job for third spot. I'm listening to third.
He's fifth in line with the group of cars right now, and sixth in line, but fourth on the chart is Ryan Hartz in the 03. Just got in before qualifying in the black 03. Though it says 3, but 3 of David Weissart scored right there. But so far, a quiet night for the Massachusetts native, and right behind him, the 7, Ryan Wasserman. He's led a lap so far. He's kind of been stuck with his buddy there, and the other 7, Jacob Bell, got 2 7s right there. But yeah, Jacob Bell, the Loxahatchee native. Yeah.
Jackpot, I win!
There's Jake in the Lodge, box number 77, sponsor of last night's league race. Currently had a stellar night so far. He drove his way from outside the top 10 all the way up to the front. He's gotten himself into sleep back.
Let's just put it this way, Hunter. Based on Tuesday night to Thursday night, he's certainly improved. Tuesday night, he had so much trouble, he was actually able to chime in and jump in while we were talking. So it is a much better night for Jacob Bell. And he's certainly driving this car a whole lot better. Not that he's not a good driver in the trucks. I don't want to throw him under the bus completely, Hunter, but,
Right behind him is the Columbus, Georgia native of Brad Slaughter Jr. He's led 8 laps so far tonight. He was in front of the group of 7s in front of him, but they worked their way around him somehow, and he's fallen back to 7th, but quiet night so far for the 81, kept it clean. Behind him.
Yeah, the 54 there. That's one of those Dunkin' Donuts. Now, see, that's making me hungry. The pink Dunkin' Donut car there driving around. Dave Hendrick in the 8th spot.
We'll shout out here to Dunkin' Donuts. Literally, before every race, I grab a refresher, the strawberry dragon fruit refresher. I have it before every broadcast on AREA, and I gotta say, I'm addicted to it. And I'm gonna keep this little tradition that I got. So shout out to
Yep.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I love Dunkin' Donuts, guys. They need to start sponsoring the iRacing broadcast booth.
That's right. We need a broadcast booth sponsor.
Here's
Just
Danny
start
Ware in
sending
the
stuff out.
18. Looks like Danny Ware needs some sponsors. Look at that. Look at all the real estate on that 18. It needs some paint.
Yeah, it resembles the real-life paint scheme of Ty Gibbs, who just seems to never have any sponsorship. But yeah, Dunkin' Donuts could sponsor the 18 of David Ware. No, Danny Ware. Sorry, Danny Ware. He's kept it clean so far tonight.
Yeah. If you were driving the 18 and looked like that, I mean, you've got grandfather with that kind of money, you wouldn't need sponsor either. Blair Patterson there in the 91, again in the South Point with the cool 91 American flag up on the top. Like that a lot.
Yeah, the roof number resembles in a red, white, and blue American flag in the outline of the 91. And right behind him is the 12 car right there of Eric Weinland. Him and the 21 car have been working together for the majority of the night. The Altoona native currently sits in the top 10, leading 3 laps so far. Completed 68. And now the 11th place driver, that is the 21 of Delonte Ballard. He's kind of stuck with the 12 for the majority of the race. The Newport News native from Virginia. Harold and Ken mentioned earlier, they're going to be driving through.
Yeah.
I would assume very early.
Very early.
Yes. Don't think this guy will be getting up anytime soon. Yeah, Dean Prince.
That's a good, I still like it. That's a good Christopher Bell team. Being a Joe Gibbs fan. Oh, I didn't say that.
Right behind him, 13th on the chart, is Kyle Knapp in the 42. He's had a quiet night so far. He's kind of stayed towards the rear of the field, keeping his nose clean, out of trouble. And right behind him is going to be the number 3 of David Weissart. There he is. He's got one of our in-car, in-studio onboards. He's also had a quiet night. There's like a little bit of damage to the front. Or no, that's just how the paint scheme. I could be wrong. But he's had a quiet night. Look for him to make some noise. Yeah, it is damage, okay.
It is damage.
Look for him to make some noise in the second half here. The Fredericksburg native from Indiana. Neil's going to butcher something. Right behind him is the 23 of Garrett Heath from Waterbury, Vermont. Had a quiet night also. Sorry,
you almost ran out of city names, didn't you? You were running off the city names. You were showing off for a while, I know.
In the
one lap down, the 17 car, right? Daniel Pearson, 1 lap down. Christian DeBoer was right there. There you go. The Christian DeBoer car, the 56. Now, both of them are not far from each other. So that's any caution comes out, which so far we haven't seen that, but you know.
And that was our halfway rundown presented by
Okay, a slight hiccup here.
Yeah, I was just about to say there was a little bit of a hiccup here. But it's a 2-car breakaway. Those 2 lap cars in front of Cameron Hearn really proving to be a difference maker here and allowing him to catch the front 2 who are just handing away, it seems like. And the 2 lappers are really slowing down the progress of the field behind. As there you see Hearn to the outside of one of the lap cars there.
It looked like he was trying to do that on his own. Cameron trying to get around both of them. Got a little slowed down there for a moment when that one car pulled up in front of him. So it is interesting. I guess they're going to...
03 of Ryan Hart, sorry. The 03 of Ryan Hart has moved on to pit road. Not really sure what the issue is there with him. He's been on for quite a while now. Don't know if he had any issues with his computer or not. Could be a manual disconnect. We don't know for sure. Looks like his crew chief there is barely awake.
Yeah, he needs to visit Dunkin' Donuts. Clearly.
Yeah, he needs some coffee.
Yeah. Hello, Bueller.
We're 72 laps into our 120-lap main event, the Uriah 500.
And we've gone mental already at lap 72. Folks.
Yeah, no caution yet so far. 72 laps, caution-free. I'm surprised we didn't have a yellow in the middle of our halfway rundown like happened Monday night. It just got started with the rundown for the ARCA series and had a big wreck coming off of turn 2. We're going into turn 3. And it looks like the 15 machine of Cameron Hearn's gotten past the 2 lap cars there. Was Scott McClendon and Ed Robertson.
Look at that run he has, though. He's got to come off the gas. He was catching the 67 a lot faster than he anticipated.
Well, and it looks like he brought Brian Wasserman and Jacob Bell, both Wasserman in the 7, Jacob Bell in the 77 came along. That was the only way they were going to get past those lap cars anyway. So good move by them, but you're right, he came with a head of steam.
The car behind him, 6th place Brad Slaughter. There he is right there in the red car. Had some issues getting past the lap cars, and he's kind of on his own right now. Although it looks like he is slowly catching that pack in front of him. And it looks like the car behind him is the 17 of Daniel Pearson. Being pushed by next car behind Slaughter, the 54 of Davey Hendricks.
Yeah, he looks like he definitely caught the draft. Got separated for a little bit, but it didn't take him long to catch the draft in the front car. 67 Honeycutt all over the back of the track for Mita. He may just want to, pick up from the window. Maybe he's got an order placed and he's just trying to figure out how to get to the drive-thru. But he is swinging back and forth.
No, seeing if the cars behind him will go on the outside with him or not. Travis Gramino would not like to see that. He's currently got 27 laps led of the 75 that have been completed. The Ontario native. So a Canadian driver leading in America's biggest race. Araya 500, almost said Daytona 500. It's Araya.
At Daytona.
At Daytona, yes.
There you go. There you go.
Second pack behind, you see the 17 of Pearson go on the outside and let everyone go past. So it looks like they'll have a better time of catching the lone 81 car of Brad Slaughter.
And Davey Hendricks is pulling that group now. Interesting little move there, though, by dropping behind. He actually dropped behind Christian DeBoer, which would put him, Christian, in the, say a deer runs across the track, or, a moose gets loose or something like that. I don't know who's vacationing in Daytona, but something happens, it's going to take a freak of nature. Maybe, this is for you, AJ, maybe a Sasquatch comes out and runs out onto the track. You have no idea. It'll certainly be a hairy time if he does. There you go, AJR. That was for you, baby.
Sasquatch could come out of Lake Lloyd at any given moment.
There you have it. Yeah. You just never know with those guys. What are they called down there? They're called skunks, something skunks, or they're not Sasquatches in Florida. They're like skunk apes. That's what they are. And apparently they stink more. So there you have it. Skunk ape may get loose tonight.
We'd like to welcome those that, we'd like to welcome those that are just now joining in. It's been caution-free so far. Lap 77 of 120 in the Araya 500 for the SimSpeedShop Cup Series. Current leader is Travis Gramita, the Ontario native.
I was going to say, though, yesterday we were talking about 80s references. So with you talking about Sasquatch, I'm thinking about a TV show that had a Sasquatch in it. Maybe somebody in our chat can give me the name of that one.
See, when I think of Sasquatch, I think of the Jack Link's Cherokee commercial.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a good one.
First thing that comes to
Well, see,
mind.
we're like reminiscing with our spectators and try to see how many people know 80s type trivia. Because we had a Stay Golden Pony Boy was a quote we used on Tuesday night. So I think we're going to try to do something like that with Ken while he's in here. We're like go back to our 80s trivia. So I wonder if anybody knows what that is,
Hunter, I don't know how old you are, but you're probably, if you're, I don't know how young you are.
Near 80s trivia.
Yeah, and that's what I figured.
Not 80s
trivia. Listen, he's going off the rails as well. Clearly, he's been watching cars go straight line too long, because he said if Brad Slaughter wins again, he's going to use all the baby oil. Won't all the baby oil, AJ, won't that erase your Sharpie? I'm just asking, because I know you got your chest signed with a Sharpie. I'm afraid the oil might, just
interfere.
saying. Yeah, it might make it disappear.
So I'll put an answer to that if we don't get anybody at the end of 80. So it's about 2 minutes here. About anybody can tell me what that TV show I'm thinking it is.
Now, So you're saying now you're saying this isn't an all-time. You're saying this guy, the Sasquatch, showed up in one of the episodes?
No, it was a show about a Sasquatch in the 80s, a nice TV sitcom.
Wow.
Not just showed up.
You got me stumped. Because I know what I'm thinking where it was.
No, it was a show about a Sasquatch. So we're about to reveal this here once we get past this.
Go ahead and reveal
this
it, and then I'll
lab.
tell you what I'm thinking. Because, there's a lot of activity going on right now. We should just probably focus on... Never mind. Yeah, tell us what it is.
Harry and the Hendersons.
That was a movie, though. That wasn't a TV show. That was a movie.
It became a TV show, if I remember
Did
right.
it? Wow.
Yeah, I may be wrong, but either way, Sasquatch was in the show, right? Harry, living with the family, Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and Henderson, yeah. Hunter, you have no idea what you were coming into tonight, did you?
No, absolutely not, because we are just gone 80 laps caution-free for our opening run, and it could go caution-free the rest of the way with the way the race has been going. We have 40 laps to go in the Uriah 500. It's just been single file. Seen some bobbing and weaving here and there, some side-by-side action, top, bottom, back to top. Now we're running the bottom. But, man, I did not expect this tonight.
It is a little shocking, just a little bit. I was hoping to see a little more like I said, well, we had almost 40 trucks, so 2 lines was going to happen. But even they behaved themselves quite well until the end, and the ending was awesome. I mean, it just like an explosion happened and 4 trucks were left.
Hey, my production assistant just slipped me a note. Harry and the Hendersons was a TV show from 1991 to 1993, so we actually left the 80s and jumped into the 90s.
See, there you go. That's what threw me off. Now, let me tell you what I was thinking.
The movie was in 87.
Movie was in 87, but what I was thinking is if you ever watched The $6 Million Man, there was an episode where he went up against Sasquatch. Yes.
There you go. And there's the 98 whipping around that lap car. The lap car staying low, that's usually a problem. You see everybody snaking around the lap car.
That's Scott McClendon there in the 29, and he got dropped back from before, and he's staying back there.
25 laps. Actually, Daniel Pearson has the most, 28, and he's now just down on pit lane at 17. 26 laps now being taken care of by leader here, Travis Cremita.
Travis Cremita here easily seems to me like he's led the most laps tonight. He's led 35 of our 83 that have been completed so far. We could see some pit stops here soon. We saw pit stops at around lap 30 for the first run of things like pit stops. Then our second run was around, I'd say, lap 55.
Here they come.
Oh, there we go. I had a feeling it was coming. Very few takers here. It's going to be Travis Cremita, Ryan Hunnicutt, and the 99 of Dean Prince, kind of like what we saw earlier. So our third round of green flag pit stops here tonight, as we're still caution-free in the Uriah 500.
Mr. Honeycutt slammed those brakes. He was coming in just a wee bit hot on that.
iRacing will catch you if you are speeding on pit lane 80 miles an hour. So coming down from near 200 miles an hour to 80 before you get to that yellow cone. If you're going speeding, they will send you right back down pit lane.
And that kind of speaks to what Ryan was saying. He's surprised at the way they come down, the speed that you come down for pit lane, that there hasn't been more problems. And there they are, more peeling off down towards the pit lane. Bigger pack this time. Whoa, look at the heat on that.
Yeah, he had some locking up there. That was the 91 of Blair Patterson in the South Point 91 car. Sliding there, basically alongside the inside wall. It's an interesting approach going into pit road.
Yeah.
There's a majority of them, including the 15 of Cameron Hearn.
Well, in iRacing, they got the communications, and they usually will say, I'm going this time, and then other people will say, we're going with you. And then you'll start saying, I'm going inside, I'm going outside. And that was I believe the 91 of Blair Patterson, and he definitely, he took the inside all right, almost running around the wall down there.
He came in hotter than a snake's butt in the desert. That's what he did right there. He was flying in to that. And interesting, by the way, Hunter, the 12 in the 12 and the 21 have been going. Look who hung out there with him, Mr. Slaughter hanging out there.
I was just
not
about
coming
to
in.
touch up on that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I've been looking at what lap times these guys, or what laps these guys have come down pit road, and it looks like they've gone about, well, the first run they pit on lap 30, then another 25 or so, and then another 25 here. So what I'm assuming is if this goes green, this is if it goes green the rest of the way, we could see pit stops with around 15 to go to 10 to go.
You know, if I see
They've been going
Brad,
about 25 laps at the bare minimum before they come on the pit road.
I'm interested to see if Brad Slaughter can get to lap 90. If he can get to lap 90, that'll put him at 30 laps, and he will be able to go with that last pit stop and be not needing to come back down anymore.
I mean, that may be what he's thinking all along. And if he has those two with him, the best thing he could do is go into the pits and come out behind them and let them pull him around so he's guaranteed to make it on that last run. That's just what I would do.
Fuel strategies came into play last night in the Xfinity Series. Didn't work out well. The Samson guys were short pitting, and they ended up blowing by the fuel-saving group that Cameron Hearn was leading. And here comes
81 of Brad Slaughter. Yep, on the pit road, locking up the tires.
You might need some tires on that right side after that.
Yeah, and the bad thing is he came and the other two didn't. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see him get out again.
I just saw that's the 99 of Dean Prince.
Yep.
He just now came off the pit road. He's scored 5 laps down. Not really sure what went wrong there with the 99. Pitted with Ryan Honeycutt, and where was that other driver that just lost? Travis Gramita.
Yeah, they both came in at the same time.
Yeah, and there was no contact whatsoever between any of those drivers. So really interesting to see there what happened. And also wanted to point out that Brad Slaughter just went on the pit road. He went 28 laps on that run. And these guys are just now approaching, this is lap 88.
They're 28 now, yeah.
They're on 28 right now. So it's going to be interesting to see if they stretch it long enough to where they can make it on another set of fuel.
Brad's been in the pit a long time. 12.3, but okay, pit lane 36. Okay, I was looking at the wrong number. My apologies, Brad. Good job. But 12.3 on his pit stop. That's interesting to see if he's going to be. These guys are pushing it at 28.
If they can do 30 laps, they will have the fuel strategy locked up.
I'll say
in my books.
The first round of green flag pit stops, they pitted at just over lap 30.
Oh,
That's what they are definitely looking at the fuel strategy here, because they have now going to be 30 laps remaining, so it'll be their last pit stop, and everybody else will have to come down one more time.
Yep, and Daniel Pearson does not have to pit. He pitted about 5 laps ago, so he's on the tail end of these two leaders right now. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes down pit road with them and tries to, stay in a group, or if he stays out and just hangs his own. It looks like they're going to pit this time. 17s to the outside, 21 to 12. They're going to duck down pit road this time by, it seems, as there they go.
That's what I was talking about, inside, outside. You have one inside, one outside, and then come down pit lane together and not lose any speed. And usually whoever has the pit stop earlier will take the inside line, and then the guy on the outside will go right on by, as they're doing right here. Great entry by the two of those guys.
Oh, interesting to see what the speed limit is. It's 65.
80.
And
80.
80. Oh, it's 80. Oh, wow. Well, that's...
no, it's pace speed. Sorry. Pit speed is 60. 80 is pace speed. Sorry.
Oh, someone going 71 there, so not real sure if...
It is timing loops, just like NASCAR.
Very well is timing loops. Not sure if there's going to be a penalty of some sort or not, but we'll have to wait and see. So there goes the leaders coming by. That's the 15, Cameron Hearn, retaking the lead. There's his view. Clean racetrack.
Interesting, Brad Slaughter comes out in 11th. He's the last car on the lead lap right now. You got Weissart, Knapp, Heath, DeBoer, and Pearson all showing us 1 lap down.
Just noticed the 15 on the roof is backwards.
Yep. AJ, fix that, will you, next time? Gosh.
But now Ballard and Wineland are the cars to watch out for. They have a fuel strategy that they won't need to come down the pit lane anymore.
Well, the question also begs is when you get to 10 laps to go and if they're all bunched up again, you know, does somebody make a move that wasn't right and we have a problem? So fuel strategy is good if we're going to run it green all the way, and we probably should, but I'm hoping at some point somebody gets a little hair and decides they're going to go after it.
Oh, there's going to be some racing going on. But like last night in the Xfinity Series, we saw a lot of bumping going on and cars coming off the track. Single cars don't generate a yellow flag, and they were able to keep the cars going straight. Great work by the guys driving last night. A few times there, we thought we were going to see guys go roll down the front stretch, and they were able to correct their cars and keep them on the racetrack pointed in the right direction.
Oh, I was just about to say we have 10 cars in this pack, but it seemed to dissipate of some sort into sections of 3. So the top 3 being Cameron Hearn, Davey Hendricks, and Jacob Bell, and then the second group being Brian Wasserman, Danny Ware, Ryan Honeycutt. Was going to say there were 2 lap cars in the 10-car pack, but throw that out the window as the pack sort of regroups itself.
It'll be
they took the
interesting.
high line finally.
It'll be interesting with these guys that have to pit again if they'll short pit or they'll go to their normal cycle and just do a splash and go.
If they short pit, that would really open up for the Delonte Ballard and Eric Wineland group, the duet, if you will.
Because if they short pit to split the difference, we would see them come in right after lap 100 to 105.
I don't know if I'm driving, I don't know that I want to short pit as much as I want to see what happens. Now, if the pack, I mean, we've only got now at this point, like I said, we've only got so many cars on the lead lap. It may come down to that. I mean, it may need to be, you got to pick the first.
Yep, only 11 cars on the lead lap right now as we've gone caution-free for the entirety of the race so far. First car being a lap down, the number 3 of David Weissart, who was in that main pack. There you see the Northern Capital number 3 just in front of the McDonald's machine of Travis Kermita, who's led the most laps so far tonight.
Absolutely interesting.
So if a caution were to come out, this would put Weissart in the free pass position. And he would obviously restart in the 12th position. Depends on what the yellow could be for, if there is a yellow.
Right.
But he would be the last car on the restart, even though he'd be on the lead lap. He gets an EOL automatically assigned to him by taking the waiver in.
Well, looking at these guys running right now, there's certainly not, there's nobody jumping out of place that doesn't need to be out of place. Everybody seems to be lined up where they need to be. And you know, again, what do they need to jump out of line for at this point? Good view going down in the turn.
Yep, and there are 2 lap cars in this main pack. It is David Weissart and Kyle Knapp, and they're both 1 lap down. And the only thing separating Kyle Knapp from the free pass is really Travis Kermita, who's in the middle of them.
Yeah, exactly.
There you'll see the onboard and the in-studio onboard there of David Weissart, number 3. He's kept it clean for the majority of the night. The Fredericksburg, Indiana native. There we go. Got it right that time. He's
did, you nailed it that time,
right there. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Great job.
He's saying there, cool, calm, collected, knowing that there's still well over 20 laps to go, actually 25 to be a matter of fact. And he's riding in this main pack because he knows time is running out, but he also knows there could be a caution at any given moment. That would put him in the free pass position.
He's one of the cars that one of the early fitters. Weissart, Knapp, and Garrett Heath, they're all running on the same pit or the same stint. 16.
Coverage of the Araya SimSpeedShop Cup Series is brought to you by Northern Capital. I'd like to give a big thanks to Russ and Steve Anderson of Northern Capital for their support of the Araya Northern Capital Truck Series.
A great series, loaded with trucks too. Yeah, enjoy that series a lot.
Yep, not to mention they're sponsoring the number 3 David Weissart, who we were just on board with.
Yep.
You know, we had talked about this. I have been asked a couple questions about sponsorships. So if you're listening and you're looking for sponsors to sponsor, you can get a hold of Jacob Bell to sponsor a race, or you can get with some of these drivers and look about getting your sponsorship on one of the cars. I'm sure the guys would definitely love getting some help to pay for this thing that we call sim racing.
This is good competition and good fun, and certainly worth watching and enjoying. Hopefully we're bringing it to you the way you want to have it, and these guys are certainly driving like they know what they're doing. So it should be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. I think this is always those one-offs. It's Daytona. It's, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But as you go forward, you know, next week, as you said, it's Homestead, but that's a different animal too. So
another Florida track, but a lot different design than this super high-banked super speedway here in Daytona.
Right now, your leader, Cameron Hearn, leading with 21 laps to go. Right behind him, Davey Hendricks in the 54, currently in the second spot. Those two are VRA teammates. Behind those two is our colleague, Jacob Bell, running in the 77 car, third. Right behind him is his cousin, I'd like to say, because he drives the number 7, Brian Wasserman. And then right behind him, you have the 18 of Danny Ware, who is still sponsorless and could use some Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship. But catching up on his outside is the 98 of Travis Gramita, as he's now jumped up to the top, and he's ducked back down to the bottom, so forget everything I just said. Right behind the 18 is the 67 of Ryan Honeycutt, a late addition, the latest addition into the Uriah 500, currently 6th right now.
and driving very well tonight too, being a late addition. He's one of those guys that walks out on the golf course with a gold bag and 3 clubs and says, "I'm in," you know, and then comes out and drills every shot. So interesting to see where he ends up tonight.
Yep, and in the chat, our admin who was up here earlier, Ryan Swan, says that it's the 21 versus the 12 for the win. Very interesting there. Because on average, we've seen drivers pit around 25 to 28 laps into a fuel run, and we've gone green the whole night. And drivers made pit stops about 12 laps ago on around lap 90. And even earlier before then, it was 21 and the 12, Delonte Ballard and Eric Wineland, who currently sit 10th and 11th on the racetrack. They are 16 seconds behind the leaders. But looks like we have someone on pit road. It's Brad Slaughter. There's a lap car there to the inside. Daniel Pearson on the apron. Interesting to see what's amiss on the 81 machine.
Pitting.
No,
Very
Brad
well
Slaughter's he's been in that pit box for a minute. And I mean a minute, like, and longer now. But something wrong with that number 81 of Brad Slaughter Jr.
AJR asked the question about if the leaders are gonna have to pit again. Yes, according to the math that we're doing, AJ, yes, they're gonna need to pit
laps.
again.
In about 10
laps to go. Unless a caution comes out and causes them to have the ability to all pit at the same time, which kind of throws the 12 and the 21 out the window at that point. But who are you gonna caution here? I mean,
Yep, the drivers are within 10 laps of their next pit stop here in this lead pack, as we've gone about 25 to 28 laps on a fuel run. Earlier on in the race, we did see drivers go to lap 30 to 32 and make their pit stops then. But the drivers that are staying comfortable right now are Delonte Ballard and Eric Wineland. They both pitted 12 laps ago, so they could stretch it to the end if this goes caution-free.
And the leaders here, the best they can do is get within like 3 laps of the end, where I said they'd probably rip off and do a splash and go, but they would still need to go down pit lane and get back on the track. It was going to be about a 45-second total time. Or actually, it was 31 seconds, but they still got to get back up to speed, so they're going to lose about a minute.
right. Yeah, it looks like
We could see someone in this main pack here try and stretch it on fuel, and it could be from further on in the pack. Stay around where Danny Ware and Ryan Honeycutt are.
Yeah, and we don't really know if they were going to the very end of their. I mean, they knew kind of what they had, but I mean, did they stretch it all the way? And as you said, somebody might be able to do that.
Yeah, they are running 45-second lap times here, so there's really no margin for error here when you're saving fuel, because if you let off too much, you're either going to get run into from behind, or if you're at the end of this pack, you're going to lose the draft. But we could see drivers in the back of the pack doing that. And here, two guys sitting in the catbird seat right here, cool, calm, collected, comfortable. That's 4 C's right now. It's Delonte Ballard there in the 21, and right behind him, the 12 of Eric Wineland. They both pitted 14 laps ago, whereas the rest of the field pitted 20 to 21 laps ago.
And they're surrounded by cars down 5 laps.
Watch the RPMs of Delonte. Down in the 7,000s.
Yeah, he's not even trying. Beautiful.
Yep, they are drafting off of the 29 of Scott McClendon and the 64 of Ed Robertson.
Here you see the difference with Cameron Hearn up in the 8.3s to 8.1. Yeah, look at 8.5 now in his RPMs. So, I mean, they're conserving fuel back there and staying competitive and staying within 23 seconds of the leader.
Well, there's no question that those two cars are just flying along. There's nothing they need to do. Like I said, they're in a pack of cars that are still running a great speed. You know, why push it at this point?
I'd like to welcome those that are just tuning in to tonight's Araya 500, where we are 107 laps of 120 completed, all caution-free. No cautions yet whatsoever. We've made 3 separate pit stops under green flag. It's going to be a fuel run to the end to decide this if it goes green the rest of the way. We've seen drivers pit 25 to 27 laps after their initial pit stop, and right now the leaders are about 3 to 5 laps away from making their next pit stop. There are 2 drivers who are sitting comfortable right now, who are playing the fuel game. Delonte Ballard and Eric Wineland, they're currently 9th and 10th on the racetrack right now. They pitted 15 laps ago. It'll be 16 when they cross the line this time by. But they are using 2 lap cars in front of them to draft and save fuel. You see they're running RPMs that are around 7,800, whereas the leaders are running over 8,000 RPM.
I mean, if those guys want to stretch it, I'm looking at they're looking at, what, 34 laps they'd have to go?
No, they'll be at 30 laps. Exactly.
No, I'm talking about
these guys.
talking about the leaders. He was talking
okay.
He was talking about earlier, can someone push it? I don't know that anybody can push it 34 laps.
Well, we know Cameron Hearn's not going to be able to, since he's been leading almost all of those laps.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes people peeling off in the back.
It's the 2 lap cars, David Weissart and Kyle Knapp Sr. This is the battle, essentially, for the free pass if a yellow were to come out. Those 2 are both 1 lap down.
It's your boy York, says go get him J Bell 77. A little shout out to there.
That Jacob York?
Bell.
That is indeed Jacob York.
Yep.
Jacob York is one of the drivers in, I believe, ARCA and Truck Series.
Yep, Jacob Bell is a driver for the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series and the Northern Capital Truck Series.
Catching that, that car gets out of the way. He's like, whoa. You know, that's when you look on the rearview mirror, like, oh, crap, they're coming.
That's the most excitement we've seen all night.
That was the 23 of Garrett Heath there that they were lapping. He's now 2 laps down. Back on board with the leader here, Cameron Hearn. We're getting close to 10 to go. We're halfway down the backstretch. We're going to hit 10 to go this time by, and coverage of the Araya 500 is presented by SimSpeedShop. I'd like to thank everyone at SimSpeedShop for their support in sponsoring the Cup Series, making it the SimSpeedShop Cup Series in Araya. Racers can visit their website at www.simspeedshop.com to find multiple items to complete their virtual racing sets, such as button boxes, wheels, racing gear, and more. That's www.simspeedshop.com. And a big thanks to those guys for sponsoring the Cup Series. Yes, we're inside 10 laps to go for the Araya 500.
There's Weissart up to the side there as he takes to the high line, lets the mound go on by. And as you talk about the SimSpeedShop, if you watched NASCAR racing, you see how they flick the ignition switch on a box. The SimSpeedShop can make one just like that for you to use with iRacing. So you check those guys out at SimSpeedShop.com.
Amazing what they can do with these, just how close and
Here they come.
they all
We
go.
got some pit stops. It's the rest of the field on the lead lap making their pit stops. They were approaching that fuel run. They were stretching it. They were on lap 26 or 27 of their fuel run. They're going to come in for a splash and go. Now that's going to leave the 91 of Blair Patterson into the lead for the moment. No, he's going to pit. So it's interesting to see when these guys come out.
I think the Delonte Ballard and Eric Wineland should just be rolling towards the front now.
There you go, splash and go for Cameron Hearn.
A lot longer on that pit stop than I thought. Here they come.
Yep, it's going to get interesting, and they can't merge on the racetrack yet. They have to wait until the backstretch. Coming out turn 2. It's going to be tight, but the 12 and the 21 are going to fly by the 15 and the 54.
There's that blue cone I was talking about.
Now this is it. These guys have got to tighten up and get in a line as quick as they can. They're not that far behind, so this can be an interesting last 10 laps here, or last 8 laps now at this point. I'd like to see if they can catch them.
It'll be interesting to see if they do catch him or not, because these two are committed to the fuel run. They're going to try and stretch it to the end, and it could be between either one of these guys who will win the Araya 500.
And it is going to be close. There is a 3.6 second gap back to Hearn with
2.5 miles
7
to
laps
get there, Harold.
to go.
Yeah, 2.5 miles a lap. That's
It's a lot of miles.
That's a lot of distance.
Here they
7
come.
to go. They're
Wow.
7 to go this time. That pack is catching them, although we could see a block or two being thrown here, as they are catching these front two in a heartbeat, it seems like.
Yep. They're gonna have to consider that. It's just making the right move at the right time. I mean, it's when they're coming so fast. Look at those 4 cars.
Yep, that's a group of 4 there, being led by Cameron Hearn, followed by Davey Hendricks, Ryan Hunnicutt, and Jacob Bell. Come across the stripe. It's going to be 7 to go this time. Delonte Ballard there still in the lead, but that pack is closing in quick.
It is coming. Yes.
If these guys are going to want to win, we're going to have to see some blocks being thrown here.
Woo! Freight train coming through. Look at that.
And there are no blocks being made. Interesting decision there, as that will put the 15 of Cameron Hearn into the lead.
Wow.
But now they're all going to stay together, probably single file. So there's going to be a 2-lap shootout with this 6-car pack here. And it's going to be who's going to make the move and when are they going to make it?
Well, we've got 6 more laps here in the Araya 500 to settle out who will win tonight. The winner of the race gets $30, second place $15, and third place gets $5. As the payouts presented by Miller Racing Graphics.
Money on the line. You know, you can take that $30 and maybe buy you one of those button boxes from SimSpeedShop, or at least put a down payment on them.
Or get some pretty wheels.
To put it on layaway for $30.
The Travis
like this
Fruit
front
is
three-
back there.
This front 3 is pulling away from the 21 and the 12.
I was just
And
going to
this
say the
hurts the
98 coming
77.
too.
I was going to say this hurts the 77 of Jacob Bell, because he chose to stay behind and settle in behind the 12 and the 21 here. We're now 5 to go here at Daytona. Still caution free in the Araya 500, being led by Cameron. Oh, just had a glitch there. Cameron Hearn, leader.
And he's at 31 laps in the lead. I believe Scramita was the other one. Who's at 35.
Oh, yeah,
So
he's had
Hearn's
quite a few.
trying to get. I mean, this is going to be closer to who's got the most laps led, which is another bonus point.
We could see a move here being made by either one of the drivers behind him, Davey Hendricks or the 67 of Ryan Hunnicutt. Ryan Hunnicutt was a late addition into the race. He just made it in before qualifying, and here he is running in third with a shot at winning the Araya 500 as they cross the stripe. It's 4 to go here at Daytona.
And you got to think he's thinking he's got to make a move soon. or someone's got to catch up to him to help a little push. He can't go out on his own, even with 2 cars.
Cameron
No,
Hearn
and he
can
would need
sweep-
help with it too.
Yeah.
Cameron Hearn has the ability to sweep the points. He's got the point for the pole. He's got a point for leading a lap. He's got the possibility of leading the most laps and winning the race. Talk about a great first run for the number 15, not Cameron Hearn.
I'm just surprised that the other 3 there, the Jacob Bell in the 77, Wineland in the 12, and Delonte Ballard, they can't, for whatever reason, catch the other 3. It's interesting that they can't get up there.
Oh, we've got 3 laps to go, and they could be laying back to get a big run at the very end to get a shot at this, because we did see that in practice before, where drivers would lay back and get a big run because of this package. It's the newer plate racing package that the Cup Series is running. So they could be laying off and timing at the right time to get a big run, because we have seen that. We saw that at Daytona with the Cup Series. You'd have to get a run by basically around turn 2 on the last lap. But yeah, they are losing ground quick if they want to do something.
They really are.
They're still in the draft at 6/10, but they're playing with fire right at the moment. They need to cinch that up some more. Either that, or it could be that they needed to conserve more fuel and they're just not able to do it.
And then that last group of 4 was Stromita, Wasserman, Danny Ware, and Blair Patterson. There's not enough time and not enough, distance for them to close that. So they're basically going to have to hope somebody crashes out and they come in flying after that.
It looks like Honeycutt and Ballard, they're right on the verge of that draft. It doesn't look like they have enough, that they're falling out of the draft now. So the top 3 and then the second set of 3 are far enough apart now that the draft is not helping. So the leaders of 2 to go here.
And they're coming down to the
stretch it out.
stripe. We're going to get the 1 to go from 1 to go Studios. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go in the Uriah 500. Being led by Cameron Hearn, pushed by teammate Davey Hendricks. They go through turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Ryan Honeycutt in 3rd. Doesn't have any help to come out and make a move. Will that second pack make a move? Get a run down the backstretch here for the final
they're
time.
catching up
Got
with
some lap cars that could cause a problem.
That second pack coming in a little too quick. Or will it be enough time?
Look at them coming.
Look at the 12 right there.
Lap cars on the outside, lead lap cars on the bottom. This could get interesting here. Coming off turn 4 for the final time. Hearn on the inside. No, his teammate on the outside. They're down in the grass.
Oh, no.
At
He's
the
gonna
stripe.
boot him.
It's going to
Wow.
be the 54.
How about that?
Wow, what a finish. And Jacob Bell
getting
having the
slammed.
fastest lap at the end.
Oh, yeah, he was coming. The 12 pulled him along. What a finish you had there coming across.
What a move. Teammates going at it for the win. And the driver on top for VRN is Davey Hendricks. He wins the Uriah 500. He beats teammate Cameron Hearn as they come off a turn 4. Man, oh man, what a finish.
And not only that, what does he do? He locks himself in with the win.
Indeed he does. Any win that these drivers get locks themselves in the playoffs. And Davey Hendricks led only 1 lap, the Jacksonville native. It's a hometown win for this kid.
You only got to win the 1. You only got to lead the 1. It's nice to have all the other numbers and the extra points, but in the grand scheme, it's the $30 in the hand.
Wow, they tied Cameron Hearn and Travis Sumida 35 laps each.
How about that?
Amazing.
Did not think it was going to be much of a finish. Never saw the 12 and the 77, Jacob Bell, coming along with Wyman. Just amazing.
There's our replay here at the finish. We did point out, or I did point out, that the second pack could be saving for something at the last lap. And we did see in the Cup race in August that drivers needed a run coming out of turn 2 in order to have a shot. And we did see that with the 12 and the 77.
You're right. You called it. You called it right when it was going, and sure enough, that's what we saw. And then going down in here and going into 3.
Yep, lap cars definitely played a factor there, because this second pack catches them in the middle of 3 and 4. And if those lap cars aren't there, who knows what could have happened. And so there's the 54 of Hendricks going down to the bottom. He went below the yellow line. He wasn't forced. I'm not sure if they're going to do anything about that or not.
It's actually not. It is not in the rules.
Not in the rules. That is clear.
Yep, it is okay to pass below the yellow line here in our area.
Well, that is one interesting finish. I honestly did not think that the teammates would be going at it for the win. I thought it would be a clean sweep there with the 15 of Hearn, followed by the 54 of Hendricks, but I was wrong. Let's go ahead and bring in our third place finisher here, Ryan Honeycutt. He's joined us in the booth. Ryan, it's Hunter, Ken, and Harold in the booth. How's it going?
Well, I just made $5, so I mean, I'd say it's going.
It's better than making zero. Hey, you were the last one to come in and put down a lap. You got in just before qualifying, and I pointed out earlier, if he wasn't in this race, imagine who else would have been in this position. And you finished in the position you started in. Tell us all about it.
Well, I was working with Travis. We were pitting a lap early, and then I finally, we got shuffled out. So I just rode behind and saved it to try to pit with, I know Cameron and Davey from another league I run on Sunday nights. And so I knew they would stay together, and I was content with third once we got that separation on the final pit stop. And I was just going to stay third and go with whoever made the move, go with the run to try to get second. And I ended up getting third, and I have no complaints.
It was a great race. And I said at the end, I said, the 67 Honeycutt's like a guy sandbagging out on the golf course. He's got 3 clubs and an old bag, and sure enough, you showed up and started knocking them out. So great race. Anything you learned from tonight that you can carry over for anything else, or was it just along for the ride and finish where you could?
Well, I have some struggles as far as pit road speed on green flag pit stops go. So I was just glad I was able to get into pit road clean all night, and that was a big thing for me. I've been struggling with that lately. So to be able to get third without having any speeding penalties is kind of a win.
There you go, and $5.
Yeah, $5. Can't complain.
It's better than zero. Any special shout outs or sponsor shout outs that you want to give before you go?
Oh yeah, thanks to my new team, Sequential SimSport. Awesome looking paint scheme that we put on here. All the sponsors that you can see. I don't really know the name of all of them because I'm kind of new, but I'll get it down eventually. So thanks to all those guys, and thanks to Major's Garage. I know that's one of them, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting.
Oh, anytime. Thank you for joining the race at the last second.
Yeah.
Cameron, got a little bit of myself there. Ryan Hunnicutt, your third place finisher here tonight at Daytona. All right, now let's bring in our second place driver, Cameron Hearn in the number 15 for VRN, finishing second here tonight. Cameron, it's Ken, Hunter, and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Man, first off, great paint scheme, by the way.
Yeah,
Love the
absolutely.
paint scheme.
Yeah.
Second off, that last lap there, kind of take us through that, blocking your teammate or trying to block your teammate for the win. Just kind of tell us how that all went down.
Yeah, I told Davey with 2 to go, I was like, man, do whatever you got to do. And I felt like when we caught those lap cars, I don't know if it was side draft or what, but I slowed down a lot coming off 4. And Davey had to run on the inside. I tried to pinch him down, but, being teammates and running for the team championship, I just want to make sure we finished 1-2, whether it was me or him. And he helped me all night, and he waited to the perfect time at the last second to make the move, and it worked out for him. And just glad it, worked out for us at the end. We're battling 1-2 to pretty much, determine the winner. Cameron
and Harold, man, I've covered you quite a bit, and I'm wondering, where's your in-car, man? You're the starter of the in-cars from Wendigo Studios. You have that ability to say that you were the first one we covered in the in-car live shot, and I was expecting to see you doing it again, but
yeah, I'm having some computer issues. I'm working on a rebuild, and I don't want to take any chance. I've already had turned my graphics all the way down, so I think my processor's on the last leg. So I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing crazy going on.
Well, Cameron, it's Cushy. I just wanted to say I enjoyed watching you run tonight. The only reason why your teammate had to do what he had to do was because if he didn't, Jacob Bell and Eric Wineland were going to climb all over you. I think you're right. When you caught up to those cars on the outside, it was like pulling a parachute on your car. But great job tonight. Enjoyed watching you run. Yes, by all means, Beautiful paint scheme. AJR was sitting there making comments about it as well. So it was good. Good job, man.
Thanks.
Oh, any special shout outs you want to give before you go?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. I'm excited. I've already got people text me saying how awesome it looks on Twitch. SimSpeedShop, all the guys, the admins. It takes a huge group effort in the first season in this league, and I feel like we got a ton of great drivers out here. I'm looking forward to how the season progresses once we get on some different types of tracks and stuff. But no cautions tonight. I think it speaks volumes to the racing we've had, and honestly, all week from everybody, different series. It's been great racing, and I'm excited to watch and also be a participant.
Yep, without a doubt. That is the first race of what could be many in Araya where we have gone caution-free, and especially in the biggest race of the year, the Araya 500. Thank you, Cameron, for putting on the show.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you.
That was second-place finisher, Cameron Hearn. And now let's bring in your Araya 500 winner, Davey Hendricks. Davey, it's Hunter, Harold, and Ken in the booth. How's it going?
Pretty good.
I'd say you won $30 and the Araya 500 on that last lap move coming out of turn 4. Kind of take us through what your thought process was.
On that last lap, I was dead set to at least push Cameron to a win. We're VRA. I want to see a 1-2 finish. I probably would have made that move a little bit sooner, but for some reason, lap cars were going to go too wide in front of us until we got out of 4. So that was really my only shot coming to the line. And then I completely forgot that we can go below the yellow line until he turned. Of course he's gonna try and block for the win. So when he turned left, and I was like, oh wait, I can go below the yellow line. Cool. Let's just flat track this thing around the tri-oval.
Well, you were part of that argument, Davey. You were part of that argument earlier in the day, and you're like, I think it's funny that you end up there and you get to use exactly what we were talking about. So
I was not against it. Just not because I didn't. I don't know. That's not a rule that I tend to look for because I look for restarts and things like that, or lane choice. But I don't know. I never think about the yellow line rule. I just always assume it's going to be there. So when we broke out today in this argument, I was like, huh, this is going to end badly. Plot twist. It actually ended up great, and I love this rule now. Thank you. Worked out
perfect. Absolutely. Great race.
Appreciate it.
Any special shout outs you want to give before you head off and celebrate your win?
I want to thank all of our sponsors, SimSpeedShop for the Cup Series, Lodgebox for Xfinity, Northern Capital for trucks, Swift Lifestyles for ARCA. I appreciate all of them coming on and Area's first season. It's cool that I get to be here the first season. We're fully sponsored. All these types of good deals going on. Good numbers tonight. All the VRA guys. I know there were 5 or 6 of us. Eric, Delonte, Brad, Danny, Cameron, Scott. I know we had a good group. It didn't work out for everybody, but I'm glad, we worked together. We had fun. It was a long race, so we kind of needed to be able to joke around and pass the time a little bit. You guys up in the booth, everyone watching, and the admins for putting it on.
Yeah, but you mentioned numbers matter in there. You only led 1 lap, and that was the bell lap. The lap that mattered the most gets you in the first position. Thank you, Davey, for putting on the show.
Great job, Davey.
Appreciate y'all.
That was Davey Hendricks, your Araya 500 winner, the Jacksonville native, a hometown win for him. Ken, Harold, what a race. I did not expect that to go caution-free. Kind of expected some yellows there. Really quick, let's take a look at our results presented by SimSpeedShop. So Davey Hendricks leads 1 lap, but gets the win in the Araya 500 at Daytona. Teammate Cameron Hearn in second. Ryan Hunnicutt, the late addition, finishing third. Jacob Bell, our colleague, fourth. And Eric Wineland, fuel kind of stretching to the end. Didn't have anything, though, but he got top 5 out of it.
Well, if it wasn't for Eric Wineland, I don't think Jacob Bell ends up where he was either. 6th place, Travis Scamita. Had a great race. Led, 35 laps, Harold? Is that what you said?
35 for him and Cameron Hearn both.
Yeah, how about that? It's number 7, Brian Wasserman, coming in. Hey, 7th place. 18 of Danny wearing 8th. Delonte Ballard in 9th, and then Blair Patterson in 10th. And I believe Blair was the last one on the lead lap.
Indeed he was, because the first driver a lap down was Kyle Knapp. And the 42 car finished 11th. Christian DeBoer, 12th. 13th was Garrett Heath. 14th, David Weissart. And 15th, Daniel Pearson.
Then you go down to Scott McClendon in 16th. Dean Prince, who I thought would have a good night, ended up in 17th. Ed Robertson in 18th. Brian Slaughter, who was running with the pack the whole night. Something goes wrong at the end, 20 laps, and then Ryan Hart finishing 20th at 54 laps down.
And then last but not least, our final three, Garrett Grant 21st, Tyler Hallman 22nd, and Shaquille O'Ray 23rd. Those are the finishing results here from tonight's Araya 500. So Harold, Ken, what did you guys think of tonight's race?
It wasn't what I expected. Again, I was hoping they'd try to do a little too wide a little earlier. But I will say, again, as always, lap cars come into play, doesn't matter what it is. And just amazing run to force the hand of Davey Hendricks, and he did what he had to do. So great race, great finish.
Yeah, it was a great start for the entire week, actually, for AriaIRacing.com, 4 series, ARCA, Truck Series, Xfinity Cup Series, all 4 green flag pit stops. The last 2 series, one yellow flag yesterday, 1 caution flag last night, and we talked about it before with a few people that could the Cup cars come back out and beat that, and they went caution free for the longest distance. I mean, this just tells you volumes where a brand new league starts up, goes to the toughest track on the circuit, and gets it done with a caution free event with plenty of action. It wasn't a boring race.
One more thing there, I wanted to add, if anybody was watching tonight and they're thinking, should I get in this? Man, why not? I mean, it's great racing. These guys do a phenomenal job. And hey, they gave away money tonight. So if you haven't signed up and you're interested in sign up, man, get in. They got space on this group alone. So good night. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. The different strategies there. I knew as soon as we had that final green flag run or final green flag pit stop, knew it was going to come down to fuel. But I didn't think that the 12 or the 21 wouldn't be in victory circle. But yeah, it was a great race, thrilling finish, fuel strategy, and that's the first race in Araya history where it's gone green flag from beginning to checkered.
There you go.
Tune in next week from Homestead, Miami, where the SimSpeedShop Cup Series will be live next Thursday at Homestead for the America's Auto Auction 250. But you can tune in earlier on Monday, where we'll have the ARCA Series, the Swift Lifestyle Pro Series from Homestead. And the coverage will always be on the Araya iRacing Twitch channel. From everyone here, from our executive producer, Harold Darner, Ken Kushwa, I'm Hunter Sleppy saying so long, and we'll see you on Monday.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.